I've got a lot to do this episode, so let's get straight to it. I've mucked around with this a little bit. That is looking good. Everything is flush along this bit along there. And we're getting ready to weld this one on. Before we can start working on the rest of these corners, we've got to finish up this piece. So started bending up this corner, getting ready to go on. Now we've got a couple folds so that will end up sitting in there like that. Making this piece was definitely no easy task. There was lots involved to get that back corner sitting in there like so, but got it done. Really happy with how it turned out. Let's get some paint on it. We've got it all in copper and it is ready to go on. So we've got everything fitting up and I'm going to start welding it up now. Now we've plugged up that bottom section inside. It doesn't look too pretty, but who cares? It's never going to be seen. Now it is time to start working on this, and this is where it gets a bit tricky because the sheet metal is very, very thin and it can warp with too much heat. You've got to make sure that it stays cool and does not get too hot. You want to make sure that everything's lining up, so you can see me here feeling to get them lining up nicely, and you'll see me cut because both pieces were touching too close and overlapping, so then you can make it one even gap. How good is this? I am stoked. That is all nice and lining up. So now it is time to weld it all up. Let's do it. Really happy with that. All ground back, nice and flat. It's lining up, very nice. How good is the gap? All even the whole way through. Super stoked that that's in. Now we're going to start working on this corner in here. You see the gap where I've trimmed it. I cut a little bit too big, so now I'm going to have to refill that, but it's all good. I'm going to have to redo this section in here because it wasn't long enough. Now the reason why there's a little bit of a corner in here that is missing is because the sill actually does not come long enough. Because we've pushed it all the way back, we're missing a bit, so we're going to have to remake that. Okay, so when you don't have a folder, this is the only way. I've just bent this up using the vise. Would be nice to have a bender, but we'll get there one day. This section is going to get folded around, so let's start doing that. Alright, this corner is all tacked up. Let's finish it off. Got that all welded up. Now it's quite late, so we'll come back tomorrow and grind it back. So we've got the door off to access this a bit better. Got that all ground back, looking nice. Now I've got to sort out this section in here. Started off by making a little plate to go over the top, and then I filled in that little gap on the side and ground it all back, and that is how it ended up looking. Now we're going to start working on this. So we've got a little section in there, welded up. Going to start painting this up and getting ready to close it for good. This is all tacked in place. Let's finish it off. This little section in here, I was planning on reusing this section from the original piece. Now that is what was going to be there, but we decided to just remake a little section and use that instead. So we've got this little piece in here that is going to sit in there like so. So then we'll be working on that once it's ground back. So let's finish this up. Got this all grinded back. Now it is time to work on this little corner. Got this corner all finished up. Really happy with how it's turned out, and the whole sill is officially finished. That's one massive step to getting the cab done, so let's get on to the other side. Now it is time to find out what is hiding behind here. It's actually not looking too bad. It's just very pitted, no holes that I could see at the moment. My plan is to cut through this section and do the same as what we did on the other side. Got the grinder up behind here, and that should just hopefully pop off real quick. Very nice. So the car is back down on the ground. Got the jacks off. Let's jack up the other side. Start off by getting it onto these trolleys so we can push the chassis across so that we can get a bit more space on this side so that we can finish working on this. Just moved the chassis across, giving us some more room in between this area so that we can work on that sill. Now I've moved this trolley out of the way, I've got to take this wheel off and switch it onto the other side because, as you can see, it's pretty flat. So we don't want this being on the angle because it will be on rim. So let's go change them over. After clearing some room, the car is back on jack stands, and now we can continue cutting this up. Alright, so after cutting that away, we have realised that this corner in here and at the back actually isn't too bad. There's one little hole that I'll have to fill up, but other than that, this is all good. I spent a bit of time with the wire wheel cleaning this area up. I'm surprised on how well it actually cleaned up just by using the wire wheel and a wire brush. So let's get some paint on this. If you guys are interested, I've made a full in-depth video of me painting up the other side, so make sure to go check that out. There'll be a link just up in the top right corner. For anyone that has a project car, I'm sure you all know exactly how long pieces take to finish, and I'm really happy to say that the passenger side still is finished and we've already moved on to the driver side. So stay tuned for the next video. It's going to be a big one, and thank you guys for watching.